Zozo want me to watch some PoE 2 gameplay of a lead druid. Is this in? You said in 4K. This 1080p. We don't do that. Ramp that joint up. This game is gonna look so good. It's gonna look so good. It's gonna look so good. This is like my actual first time watching it on a monitor. Usually I'm watching videos like in the bedroom on a big TV. But on this monitor, clean. And this is a video. This is a video, bro. That lightning looks good. Oh, it's gonna be so crispy, man. Is it gonna look good? It's gonna look good, greatness. It's on console and PC, and it's free. Yes, it is free. Now, I will say, PoE 2 early access is November 15th, but early access is not free. You do have to pay for the early access because it's not out yet. So only the people who are trying to support the game get the premium. You know what I mean? But it's only like the. I think you just have to buy like a supporter pack, supporter like thing, and the cheapest one is like $30. Trust me, this game is worth $30 if it's your type of game. It is an ARPG, but yeah, it's very similar to that game actually. Greatness, yeah, but better. Very similar. I feel like Asmongold described it very well. D4 is for casuals. PoE 2 is for more hardcore players. Way more in depth, detailed. Um, and better. Like the devs listen to the community, they change and stuff. They add in so much custom. What is it? Like you can make any build you want. Like you're not limited. Super customizable. Yeah, it's the big brother. Ain't no stepchild. Trust. Better than D4? Yes, it is, bro. Trust me. If this is your type of game, like I said, I think D4 is mainly for casual. So if you don't want to be like super confused or intimidated by all the skills and the skill tree and stuff, then maybe not for you. D4 is definitely for more like easier learning curve type of deal.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, one of the game directors on Path of Exile 2. In Path of Exile 2, you can pick from one of 12 character classes. Each character has a combination of primary attributes that they focus on. Today, we'd like to show off a character who specializes in strength and intelligence, the Druid.
You want to give this a go when it drops, you had D4, but if you fell off with it in the beginning, I feel like, whoa, I feel like with D4 was when I loved it, was in the beginning. Like the cutscenes drew me in. The cutscenes were great. The graphics great. Like I really got into like just the story, and then we made it through the whole campaign. Like I was into it, was paying attention, following along. Then once I beat the game, it was like okay, and then I kind of fell off after that. And then when they dropped the next season, it was kind of like lackluster. Like they didn't add a new character to D4 until this year, a year later. So you've only still had those same four, five characters at release, and in every game like this, there's like one, maybe two characters where you don't touch at all because they're just not your style. Like for me, I was not finna touch like a Sork or the barbarian, like just not my style. So then that limits me even further to only like two, three characters, and then the builds limited, and then it wasn't no like I don't know. It just kind of fell off for me after I finished the story, and then they continued and picked up the story a whole year later. Like I don't even care anymore, bro. I don't even care about it anymore. Like yeah, that's just me though. But PoE, they got PoE 1 and PoE 2. When PoE 2 come out, it's gonna be new stuff, but they gonna still be updating and adding stuff to PoE 1, and they gonna alternate the new stuff so that if you want to, you can continue to play PoE all the way through. So PoE 2, once let's say you finished all the content there is to finish, right around the last couple of days left before the season ends on PoE 2, they're gonna drop the stuff for PoE 1, so then you can just transfer. But that's if you like PoE 1. I personally don't think I'm gonna touch PoE 1. But it's just cool that they considered that, like keeping both games alive for people who want to keep playing them. I see like characters that take more strategy to play than brute force. Yeah, yeah, I could see that for sure. I don't like no simple dilly dally one move over and over and over, one ability builds. I don't like that.
In human form, the druid is a spellcaster who channels the fury of nature on the battlefield, a walking natural disaster. But get up close and you'll find out why the druid also focuses on strength. You can transform yourself into one of several wild beasts. Today we want to show off the bear form. Transformation in PoE 2 happens automatically when you use a bear attack. Use Bear Maul and your character will transform into a bear, into a meaty swing. Use a spell.
Like this character, I wouldn't personally use this character, but it's definitely cool.
And your character transforms back into a human and casts it. Hitting enemies with the Bear's Maul attack will build up rage.
Yo, y'all see that enemy? That's like legit. Like their design of everything in this game is so creative. This enemy is like playing the drums, and every time he smacked the drums, it like sends shockwaves.
Human and cast it. Hitting enemies with the Bear's Maul attack will build up rage, which increases your attack damage. So your bear gets stronger with every attack. You can see the glowing runes that indicate rage on your back. Have a lot of weak enemies to take out? This is where you probably want to break out your rampage. Let out a roar and stampede over all enemies in your path, slamming the ground with your paws. The initial roar generates rage, and then the rage is consumed as you charge along. You can use rampage by itself to travel a short distance, or do some mauling first to build up some rage and travel a significant distance. Now, while the bear is big and strong, this isn't a...
I just personally never ever choose characters that seem similar or leaning towards a tank. I just don't. It's just never been my type of style. A dead drummer boy is crazy. Yes, I know. Crazy. That bear is upset. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. Big this brother bear right here.
Pure strength class. You don't have as much armor as a warrior would have. In order to protect itself from larger packs, you might want to consider a skill.
Wait, so it doesn't have as much armor as a warrior, it said? That's actually surprising.
The bear is big and strong. This isn't a pure strength class.
So it's not a pure strength class. Wait.
You don't have as much armor as a warrior would have. In order to protect itself from larger packs, you might want to consider a skill like Furious Slam. This skill is all about stunning rather than damage, so it's quite useful if you're mobbed by smaller monsters and just need to get out of there.
Yeah, that's actually surprising. I would have thought the druid, or at least the bear form, was like tanky, but it's the warrior, which I don't think I know what class that is or what that looks like, is apparently more stronger. It's because it's a spellcaster. True. Yeah, true. I mean, I feel like I know in this game you could stay in the human form if you wanted to, but I feel like that form is so lame. Like if you ain't transforming into different animals, what is you doing?
Of course, like any PoE 2 character, you can always use a dodge roll to get out of danger. Since the bear is the slowest of the druid's forms, making sure the dodge feels reliable and can get you out of any situation is paramount. When you dodge an animal form, your character instantly transforms back with no
Like that's
time
so
penalty.
cool. Like just the simple quality of life stuff in this game just make it easier on you. Like as soon as you dodge, you instantly transform. Like you don't gotta press 2 different buttons, transform then dodge. Like it's just seamless. They just thought about it. Like I always say, a game you can tell is gonna be good when it feels like the people who made the game actually play their game. like when you play your game, you think of the same things that the player base would think of. Like if I'm playing, like how I was just playing Alan Wake and I had certain things I didn't like. If you're playing as a dev, you might have those same ideas that come up too, because you're playing as if you're just a player and can see what other players may think. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Devs that are gamers. Yes, exactly. And not just CEOs or greedy, money hungry business execs. What animal would make me play druid? I will have to see each transformation. Definitely not the bear. The bear is not enticing enough for me. It would have to be something really cool, like if he could transform into a jungle cat, like a panther. That would be sick. That would be sick. They can be greedy and CEOs, but just make a fire game. Nah, no. Greed cannot fuel you. It just cannot. Trash. Look at Suicide Squad. No. Look at X Defiant. Like you can be free. You can be a free game and have things that people pay for, cosmetics and stuff to buy. Like the finals. The finals is a great game and I want to spend money on the finals. That's the point. Is it greed shouldn't fuel you because then you don't think creatively. Creativity fuels art. Creativity fuels art. And when your development, when your baby is your baby and you care about it and you put love into it, you can tell. You can tell. And then it's worth spending your money on. I couldn't tell you one thing I would spend my money on at X Defiant. Not one. They want you to spend money on, oh, if you don't want to do this to unlock this class, just buy it. Oh, okay. Suicide Squad got the movement down part at least. I mean, yeah, I guess. I guess some of the movement stuff does look cool. But if only that was enough, you know? Forgot about X Defiant. Exactly. Exactly. Doobie soft. Doobie doo. Looking ahead, boy. Crazy. Crazy. And then that trailer they dropped for that other game that's like a Payday Watch Dogs conglomerate. I don't know about that one. And PoE1 you couldn't respect till the end of the story. Oh, that's whack. That's one thing I loved about Black Myth Wukong is being able to respect for free anytime. It just makes it's just less stressful. You can have more fun. Switching things up, changing builds. Playing the game. That's what games are for, right? Enjoying and playing for fun.
That you can get out of the way. You can even interrupt a mistimed transformation halfway through. Of course, doing this will mean you pay the slight time cost of having to transform back again, but it's certainly a lot better than dying. Something interesting about the skill is that it's faster to use if you're already standing up. If you're on all fours when you use Furious Slam, then the bear has to stand up first before slamming back down. But use Maul first and the bear will stand up as you swing, which has no time penalty. Then follow up with Furious Slam and your bear will
that's what I like. That's what I like is things that cause you to have some sort of thought process to what you're doing and why. It's a skill. It's a skill ceiling or something like that, right? Ain't that what they call that? Like a skill gap or just skill in general. That video game that Ubisoft was working on before they dropped Concord. Or no, that was Sony, not Ubisoft. That's Sony. Sony was working on the game. They after Concord or before Concord came out, they was working on like this Watch Dogs Payday mixture looking thing. Not Ubisoft, my bad. I'm sorry. Fair Games. That's what's called Fair Games? It's a trash name. I'm sorry.
Slam down. Much more efficient.
Efficient. Where my boy Venom at? He know what I'm talking about. That's how you know you want to make a game that is also tailored not just for new people but for sweats, cause sweats like to be efficient.
Next up, I want to talk about Ferocious Roar. Ferocious Roar is a bear meta skill gem. It allows you to take any Warcry skill that another class like the Warrior might use and allow you to use it as a bear. I'm going to take the seismic...
Wait, a Warcry skill that the Warrior might use and use it in the bear form. In this game, you actually gonna be efficient. That's what it's made for. It rewards you for being efficient.
Beasts. Today we want to show off the bear form.
Wait, did I go back too far?
Transformation in PoE 2 happens automatically when you use a bear attack.
I think I
Use
did.
bear maul and your character itself to travel a short distance.
Yeah, I
Do
did. I
some
went
mauling
way too
first
far.
to build up some rage and
How did that
be
happen?
struck by bolts of lightning.
Here we go, right here. Ferocious
Another
roar.
class like the warrior might use and allow you to use it as a bear. I'm going to take the seismic cry gem and socket it into ferocious roar. You can actually socket more than one war cry and use them all together, but let's just stick to one for now.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Just customizing it to whatever you want to do. There's no like bad build, meta build, good build, bad. It's whatever you want to put together and try out and tweak. So cool. You want to shoot some stuff the more I see this game. Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because this bear definitely don't have a gun.
Seismic Cry pushes enemies back and has some stun chance, but the reason we want to use it is for a mechanic called Exerted Attacks. If there are any heavily stunned enemies in range of the Warcry, then your next slam skill will be powered to do double the number of slams. First,
Wait,
use Furious
say that
Slam
one
to
more
stun these
time.
enemies. To do double. If there are any heavily stunned enemies in range of the Warcry, then your next slam skill will be powered to do double the number of slams.
No, see, they lost me. This is a game that is very
Seismic Cry pushes enemies
detailed.
back and has some stun chance, but the reason we want to use it is for a mechanic called Exerted Attacks. If there are any heavily stunned enemies in range of the Warcry, then your next slam skill will be powered to do double the number of slams.
Oh, so the scream has a stun chance, and if you stun him with the scream, then your next ground slam will do double damage. That's what he basically just said. He could have just said it like that, but he had to sound all smart and devy when he said it. So it confused me a little bit. The war cry is like a taunt or a scream that gives you major buffs. Yeah. Yeah, a war cry. I mean, something called a war cry. If you're in war and you're crying, it better be a good type of crying. Because if you're sitting in a corner in a fetal position crying, it's not, you're dead. So this cry gotta muster some testosterone. Something called a war cry, boy. The mercenary gameplay in your mind, I feel you, bro. I feel you. That the trailer for the mercenary was like, I feel like everyone's like, I feel like, okay, let me start that sentence over. The trailer for the mercenary probably had the most shock and awe for viewers or potential players of PoE 2, and probably made people want to play the game the most out of all like the trader, out of all the characters. Maybe mercenary and the necromancer, I would say. Those two really sick trailers, for sure.
First, I use Furious Slam to stun these enemies. Next, I follow up with Seismic Cry and get the Exerted Attack. And then I slam again. See how 2 slams triggered?
Oh, so it does 2 slams automatically. So not double damage, but just double slams. Cool.
So, that's all well and good, but how about we try that again using Rampage? First, get a bit of rage. Slam to stun the enemies, Seismic Cry to get the exert, and then rampage around to do insane amounts of damage. So we've covered some of the bear side of the druid, but how is he as a spellcaster? Now of course we want to maximize the amount of time you spend in your animal forms, so most of the spells targeted at the druid tend to be things that last a long time or provide tactical options on the battlefield. The first and probably simplest of these is Lightning Storm. Cast it on the ground and you get an area where monsters are continuously struck by bolts of lightning. The bolts don't do much damage, but they shock monsters, which is a debuff that increases all damage on them, meaning it's a great spell to use before going in as a bear. So, that's going to increase your damage, but as I mentioned before, the bear form of the druid could use some defenses as well. The bear in particular is the slowest attacking of the druid's forms. He hits hard, but if he gets swarmed too much, it will result in your death. That's why Tornado is so useful. Tornado sucks.
So this is the only thing that is not appealing for me for the druid, is going back to the human form. Like, I feel like if I was to ever play druid, I would want to be in my human form as little as possible. Like, just go in there, pop something real quick, go back. Like, so much content, so many classes. Yeah. So many builds. So many builds.
sucks monsters in, allowing you to split up packs and deal with groups separately, or pin monsters in place and set up combos with your other skills. The tornado doesn't really move big monsters much, so you can actually use it to separate a boss from its minions too.
Wait, it said the tornado does.
The tornado doesn't really move big monsters much, so you can actually use it to separate a boss from its minions too.
See, now that's smart. That's smart. This is what I'm talking about. Devs that are gamers. Cause like I feel like game trailers or like showcases or whatever circumstance where a game is being shown to an audience, I feel like to appeal you, they don't say the right things. Like they say like, I don't know, oh, it's free to play, or oh, it's come out in a week. I don't know. I can't even think, but like I can't even fully formulate what I'm trying to say. It's just that the things he's saying are exciting. They just say corpo things. Yeah, like things we don't care about. Like bro, I want to know what the game is. Show me the game. Like when your game is your most prized possession, when your game is the sell point, then I mean, it's so much easier than trying to get me with like cash grabs or like other things. When your game speaks for itself, then things about the game are just good news. You know? Yeah. Season 1 battle pass. Season 1 battle day 1 DLC. For PoE 2, season 1 battle pass day 1 DLC. Oh, no, you're talking about are you talking about what they be saying to entice you? Yeah. Get the deluxe edition and you get 3 outfits and 2 guns with the like, bro, no. I don't even know what the game is. Don't try to get me to spend money already.
The druid also has the ability to summon animal companions. This is another really useful defense because wolves can take aggro from you, keeping monsters away. In addition, the wolves howl as they are summoned, putting a temporary debuff on enemies that makes them more vulnerable.
Oh wait, so he just
he
just spawned some wolves.
In addition, the wolves howl as they are summoned, putting a temporary debuff on enemies that makes them more vulnerable to critical strikes, and giving you a reason to resummon them in combat.
That's legit. So you can be essentially like 2 different animals in one run.
The spell we're going to talk about today is Volcano. You can cast it quickly like this and it will spawn just a few projectiles. Or you can hold down the button to channel it for longer, which will make it fire a whole bunch of projectiles when it spawns, doing a lot.
See, that's not the efficient way. Sitting there holding it down that whole time. That's just like the base casting. That's not the efficient casting. That's the difference. Corpos took a bit too much control over the game industry. Yeah, I agree. That's because I don't know why exactly that has happened. I think maybe because some people have seen how lucrative gaming can be. When you look at a game like Black Myth Wukong that had like millions of copies sold. I don't know how many, but just millions. I mean, M's in general is always good. So when you see things like that, I think people think, oh, I could do that. Or I could, people try to be a part of something that they don't have the innate skill or passion for. And it doesn't go very well. At least that's what I would assume if I had to guess. Because why else would a corpo try to make a game? Maybe that's just a stereotype or a bias or a judgment for me, but I don't think it's too many corpos out here doing 24-hour streams or staying up all night. Like I remember I used to stay up all night on playing the Division 2. All night, all morning, and skip work, not go in. I don't want to go to work. Just to play the Division more. Like, gamer. Gaming is now part of Hollywood, so it was bound to happen. The Division was lit. Yes, the Division was lit. I put in so many hours on the Division 2. I never played with the first one, but I played the second one. And I put in some work on that one. For sure. For sure. That's why I was excited when I heard they was working on another one. But that kind of evaporated.
More damage. The volcano sticks around firing its little projectiles for a long time, so it's another good skill to cast before turning into a bear. Now, the reason you're going to want to turn into a bear after using volcano is that any slam near the volcano results in it spewing out even more projectiles.
You know what I love about this game is that it seems like, from what the gameplay that I've seen, it seems like they give you tools for fighting against mobs, like heavy ads and just a lot of enemies rushing you, which is good. Really good. Like this ability with he slammed down on the volcano and then it starts spewing out even more. Like that's for ad control. Like I remember I was watching somebody play the other day and they was getting mollywopped. I can't remember exactly what the event was, but they let people fly out and test the game. And you could just sit down and play for like 45 minutes. And Buddy he was playing on some class, I can't remember, and he was getting rushed. Got straight up ganked, and they swarm you. So stuff like this, abilities like this, being efficient with stuff like this, pays. Do be working on a Black Flag remake. Okay.
Bruh.
Wait. Who? Tell me again. Who made that pirate game? Not Sea of Thieves. The other one. Who made that? Were you on the ship and you a pirate, but you never leave the ship and you saw trees with a rope and a saw? Who made that? Cause if it's who I think it is, they a little late. Relax. No, I'm just I'm chilling, bro. I just asked the question. Cause if you ask me, that should have been a Black Flag remake. That should have been an easy pirate simulator W right there.
And if you thought that was a lot, then Rampage is even better, because it does 2 slams every time it hits the ground. And you can run around the volcano.
Yeah,
Now,
Druid
if
not
you've been
half
paying
bad.
attention, you might have realized that this is going to be extra good with Seismic Cry.
You get the 2
The
slams.
number of slams.
Yep.
So, first we're going to cast Volcano.
Uh-huh.
Then Furious Slam till you stun something.
Uh-huh.
Seismic Cry to get the double slams, then Rampage around while the volcano spews out a stupid number of projectiles.
Efficient.
This combo would have been even better if we'd remembered to cast our Lightning Storm first, but getting time for that seems tricky. It would also have been
true.
nice if the monsters were affected by the crit debuff that my wolves do when I first summon them. This is where some meta gems to automate some elements can come in handy. There's a gem called
Automation.
Cast while channeling. If we add Lightning Storm to the skill, we can cast it automatically while we channel a volcano as we set up our combo.
Automation is
Cast while
lovely.
channeling is an ongoing effect, so enabling the skill will cost us Spirit, which is a new resource in PoE 2 used specifically for these kinds of skills. If you look at the top left of the screen as we channel, we can see the energy building up to cast the Lightning Storm. So long as we channel Volcano for long enough, the Lightning Storm will also be cast on the same targeted location.
Smart.
Currently, cast while channeling is active in reserving Spirit in both our human and bear forms. This means that any channeling skills we use as a bear technically will also cast the Lightning Storm. We can actually do this with Rampage right now, but it's not the best because we would prefer to stack the Lightning Storm on top of our Volcano, rather than just casting it randomly as we're rampaging around.
Right.
We're also unnecessarily reserving Spirit in our bear form we could be using for something else. So let's fix that. I'm going to go into the skill options for the skill and disable it in my bear form. We showed at ExileCon how you could use skill options to control which weapon set to use when casting skills. But you can also use the same interface to enable or disable which buffs you would like to have active in your different weapon sets too, without having to recast them all the time. And shapeshifting counts as a weapon set. Now when I change to a bear, the effect and the spirit reservation goes away, and when I change back to a human again, it's back automatically.
Wait, so what did he just do? He lost me. Like, that's one thing about this game is you gotta... It's very in-depth. I was following, then I wasn't.
Casting skills. But you can also use the same interface to enable or disable which buffs you would like to have active in your different weapon sets too, without having to recast them all the time. And shapeshifting counts as a weapon set. Now when I change to a bear, the effect and the spirit reservation goes away, and when I change back to a human again, it's back automatically. So, now that we have some extra spirit available as a bear, why don't we make our life a little bit easier by automating one of our other skills? This is the Cast on Melee Stun meta gem. I'm going to put Summon Wolf in Cast on Melee Stun, so that whenever I stun a sufficient number of enemies while I'm a bear, it will summon another wolf.
That's smart.
This is great because usually when I'm stunning, it's because I'm about to do my exerted attack slam combo. When wolves come out, they howl, adding the crit debuff to the monsters, right when I need it.
Whoa, what is all that red? Doobie be letting they B team go crazy. They need to pull the reins on them a little bit. They B team? What's they B team? The transformation from bear to human is so smooth. It is. It is. He changed the summon to only the primary weapon. Huh. Okay. Type of game that requires a strategy guide. Yeah, if you wanna not do all the work yourself. Like, I feel like this game isn't about learning and getting good and better just by playing it. You put in the time and you gain from that. A strategy guide would be like trying to shortcut your way to learning different things. Correction. A strategy guide would be a shortcut for trial and error. Because that's what would happen playing as a new person, just going in and just experimenting. It's trial and error and wasting time and learning things the hard way. But a strategy guide would just give you all the right answers without you really doing or knowing anything. It's like when I was playing Black Myth with Kong and I was watching a video to figure out where all the secrets were. And if I was to start that video right at the start of a chapter, before I had even explored any of the chapter, then I wouldn't know where the heck he's going, where I would have to follow step by step where he's leading me to get to every secret. But because I finished the whole chapter before watching the video, I was like, oh, I know what I said. So then I could pause the video, go to there myself, and then find the secret arguably faster or easier because I already have familiarity with the chapter. Yeah. Ubi's B team be making the stinkers. A team is where Assassin's Creed Splinter Cell Division comes from and Rainbow Six. I didn't know this. Their A team must have left. Or might have left. Yeah, I don't know. That A team might have yeah. You said the red is the crit debuff.
When wolves come out, they howl, adding the crit debuff to the monsters, right when I need it. It also helps keep my wolves alive and summoned at all times without me having to do it manually.
True. Efficient.
So, last but not least, let's talk about the skill tree. At ExileCon, we showed how you could dual spec your character so that different weapons can use different passives. Well, as I said before, the bear form counts as another weapon set for specialization purposes, so he gets a tree too. If I open my passive tree, you can see how I'm a melee damage class.
Don't even get me started on this tree.
So he gets a tree too. If I open...
Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started on this tree. And this is just for what character is this? Wait.
In my passive tree,
Okay. I lost my mouse and I wasn't sure if y'all could
weapon
still
set
see
for
it.
specialization purposes, so he gets a tree too. If I open my
Boy oh boy. So I don't know who this is. This doesn't look like Druid. But he has like points leading from it. Or I don't know. This skill tree. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That skill tree passes out in joy. It makes me smile so hard. I mean, that's because Zozo, your brain is literally a build brain. You have a build brain. Like, dude, your brain is like, you're the Jimmy Neutron of builds, bro. Jimmy Neutron of builds. You can get you can get points from any class on any class. They may just be very far away from your side. Okay. True, because he did mention the war cry, which was from the warrior. Makes sense. If somebody who never seen this game saw the skill tree, they would have been like, "Oh no, I'm straight." Yes, yes, this is true. Unless they like the challenge. That's why I'm saying. You know, some people might think that D4 is better because it's more casual, for sure. This game is no joke. Do not be fooled by these really good trailers and these gameplay loops, because these are devs playing and showing us how these characters should be played. We are gonna suck. Or I'll speak for myself. I am gonna suck. But I got Zozo, the encyclopedia, on speed dial, and I'm sure people in the chat could probably help provide feedback too. And it's just about playing and learning and just being patient. If you got 5 kids and a corporal job, this may not be for you. Yeah, go play Star Wars Outlaws. Oh boy. Oh boy, don't get me started on Outlaws, man. Doobie doobie doobie. What a doozy.
passive tree, you can see how I'm near a melee damage cluster and a spell damage cluster. By holding shift, I can allocate these passives in my human form, and these ones as a bear. Now, when I change between human and bear form, my passives reallocate automatically. So, here we are at the Blind Beast. The goblins have enslaved a huge behemoth and gouged out its eyes. Now they're sending it in to fight you while they watch.
Wait, go back.
So, here we are at the Blind Beast. The goblins have enslaved a huge behemoth and gouged out its eyes. Now they're sending it in to fight you while they watch.
So the goblins, the little skeleton drummer boys, enslaved the behemoth, took his eyes out, and throw it in the cage. It's like its own personal Hunger Games like type of deal for entertainment. Throw the animal in a pen with no sight and make them fight. Put some respect on Outlaws. Wait,
Wait a minute.
what do you?
Are you sure about that?
Are you certain you want to go down this route? Are you certain? I'll put respect on Outlaws when I see a lightsaber. Oh boy. Hardcore. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I seen this one dude playing D4. I seen this compilation of these streamers playing against, what was that guy called? This like big dude with these 2 like swords, and if you run, he'll like throw a hook and yank you back. I forgot what he's called, but I seen this one dude playing against him with a hardcore character and got mollywopped. People's worlds come crashing down over that mode. The butcher, yes, the butcher. You want to get into hardcore? Yeah, I'm a little scared with this game. I ain't gonna lie. D4, you could convince me. PoE? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
to this creature.
Slay the blind beast. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it worked that time. POE, you need black Air Forces before your brain. Yes. Yes. Yeah. When the combo works, it's very satisfying. So if you don't charge up the volcano for long enough, the lightning doesn't even spawn. He said, no mana.
This suffering ends here. Shameful.
I like how
There
all
we
the
have it.
people in the crowds scatter when he die. Little punks.
This suffering ends here.
Little punks.
There we have it. With a little bit of customization, we have a build that can combine many different active skills to do some really interesting effects. At the same time, your skill tree reconfigures automatically at the right time, and your buffs reconfigure automatically as well. You can even cast certain skills automatically. But we also haven't lost the dynamics of combat. Many skills interact with each other, and the ones you choose to use at any different moment depend a lot on what enemies you face or what situation you're in right at this moment. And at just the right time, you might be able to combine all your skills in one crazy combo, get some satisfying screen covering spam, and do some crazy damage. Now, these are just some of the skills targeted at the Druid in PoE 2. We didn't even show you the Wolf form yet. There's a lot more to play and experience, and we look forward to letting you guys try it out when we go into beta on June 7th, 2024.
Rip. Rip to that beta. I would have been sick. I would have been sick. They didn't want the smoke. No, they didn't. Yeah, this game is going to be good. I hope I like it a lot. Because the only thing I'm mainly worried about is just how in-depth it is, you know? And my brain might explode. It's like a house of cards. Start at the bottom and work up. Yeah, that is true. Gotta have a good foundation. Take it slow. Have grace with yourself and not be too hard on yourself because you ain't a freaking genius off the rip, for sure. I think that's the main thing that like can be daunting is being bad or looking bad in front of an audience. For me personally, like when I'm playing a shooter on mouse and keyboard and I suck, and it's like, man, it's annoying not only because I suck, but other people watching me suck. How fast you adapt to the suckage. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But PoE, I don't think it'll be as bad as like playing Call of Duty on mouse and keyboard. PoE, it'll just be about patience. Cause I don't think I'm gonna be dying a bunch. I don't think, but I'll just have like a trash build at the start, you know, until I start learning and getting better. You gotta bring a calculator out, a few protractors, and a telescope. Yeah, possibly a calculator. arguably maybe a calculator. All that other stuff though, nah. Oh, you will die a bunch. That may be true. That dude did get swarmed. But I won't be alone, so the chances are a little bit lower. What should we watch next? We can look at the D4 druid in comparison. Okay.
This
Wow.
game is pretty damn easy. If you play the most broken build in
Oh,
Diablo 4,
wow. He just summed it up in like a second, bruh. That's what I hate about D4. Just spam it. Boring one ability over and over and over. Easy, farming, all the hard stuff. No thought to it. Ugh. So fast paced. So farmy.
this game is pretty damn easy. If you play the most broken build in Diablo 4, that is. Because
Like,
this is
bro.
the strongest druid build, fully optimized by my
I couldn't even tell you what he was doing. I can't even tell you what he's doing right now. Like, PoE is so much slower pace. You can see him casting the volcano, slamming down, roaring, running around. Like, this looks like he put it in like 20x speed, and I just see a bunch of numbers on the screen. Yeah, off to a great start, I guess.
man Thomas for Season 5. But we'll also cover what the hell is going to happen in Season 6, so you can have some goddamn fun and keep blasting then as well. When you're done playing Spiritborn, of course. So let's begin with the basics, shall we? How the build works. It's a storm slider build, meaning our main damage comes from lightning storm despite us spamming the slide button. This
A
is
spamming what button? Locked in.
lightning storm despite us spamming the slide button. This is due to the Nature's Fury key passive. By carpal tunneling the shit out the landslide button, we're in turn
Carpal tunneling. Carpal tunnel by spamming a button.
passive.
That does not sound fun. That's not appealing.
By carpal tunneling the shit out the landslide button, we're in turn farting out a gazillion lightning storms. And what's lovely about these lightning storm is that they're all both earth and lightning.
Wait, is this in like 720p? We need the 1080. Oh, rip.
Meaning they gain both of those multipliers. Just lovely. The entire build in a nutshell. Everything else we do is to scale our lightning storms further.
So boring.
To understand how, let's
No
check out
thought.
the skills.
No efficiency. No, okay, I gotta pop this, and then this, and then this to get the most damage. Like, just spamming. Ew.
First out is Maul. Why the hell are we using this? Well, mainly to keep up the Wild Heart Hunter sneakers. To use this, we need to shapeshift once every 5 seconds. This is partially solved by Rocking Bloodhowl, which works fine in the hordes where the density is insane, but we'll need Maul for all other content. And talking about Bloodhowl, it's used both for the attack speed,
Bro,
the
look at
Wild
what he's
Heart
doing
Hunger,
with his
as
mouse.
well as turning us
Just-
into an orc both for the
Just
attack
going
sense.
around, just clicking
He is insane, but we'll need Maul for all other content.
in circles. He literally start going
And
around
talking
just
about
bloop, bloop, bloop,
Bloodhowl,
bloop.
it's used both for the attack speed, the Wild Heart Hunger,
Zozo, does this make you miss your druid? Zozo played druid in D4 when we as his first class. I feel like that's all D4 is. Like, late game is just builds that are spammy, one ability builds, just farming. Just farming. Carpal tunnel. A shame I'm not returning to this. Is it though? Is it really a shame if you trading in for something better? It's like if you was with this girl who treated you horribly and was always cheating on you, and every time you got off work there was no dinner made and you had to make your own food after a 12-hour work shift, and then y'all finally break up and you trade in for like a 10 out of 10 W wife. Is it really a shame? You quit in Act 3 and never looked back. This how they be on hardcore. I can't deal with this. I mean, I will say, for a hardcore character, I guess I could see why you would want to do this because it's safe. Safe. Because you're on hardcore, so you just want something that'll just keep you alive. But then at that point, is it even a challenge? At that point, isn't hardcore supposed to be challenging, testing of your skill? So, I don't know. Like this video, I don't even think I can make. Both videos were around the same length. The PoE2 one was like 13 minutes and 30 seconds. This one is a minute and 10 seconds more. And I'm already ready to click off because I know the whole video is just going to be him spamming this lightning. The whole video.
Pretty much a must-have. So get it, damn it. What about the final 2 skills then? Well, shit, son. Those are defensives and bullet grants unstoppable when it comes to a weapon as a safety precaution. Shit, son. Gear and
bro,
aspects.
it's like he's just cursing to be like hip. Just throwing it in there.
Is extremely difficult. Are you ready? All right. You press landslide. Great job, friends. You are now an expert in this build. The rest of the buttons you just press on cooldown. The only thing you actually need to give a shit about.
Okay, I'm done with that, bro. We see how that's going. I respect it, but I guess in a sense that I got it to enjoy it, but how it turned out afterwards. Yeah, I feel you, Maverick, 100%. Some games I've bought and I didn't get my full money's worth. I bought it and played it thinking I would get enjoyment from it or really, be into it for months, and it turned out to be a complete waste. It hurts and it sucks, but sometimes you gotta learn the hard way, right? It's like another relationship reference. Like if you end up being with somebody and you end up moving in with them after the first month right away, and then it all goes terribly, then you learn after that relationship, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna take it slow from now on and not hop into a relationship and move in with somebody I just met. It's the same with video games, right? You have to have standards so that you don't just keep spending your money on these games that ain't worth it. We gotta have standards and actually look at what these game developers are offering us and be more adamant about not buying crappy games. Like just taking what is it? I don't know the phrase, but just not taking it, putting our foot down. Did you just use a relationship analogy for games? Yes, I did. I think it could be argued that playing video games is like a relationship. You put a lot of time into it. If it's good, if you like it, if you care, you put a lot of time, you have fun, you spend money. You put years into games, man. Games are relationships. Just less commitment, because if you don't play it for like 2 years, then there's no like consequence to it. You can just stop playing a game and come back to it 2 months later, and it won't hold no animosity towards you. Imagine your spouse delete your 1,000-hour account on a game. Then is it really your spouse? Are they really your spouse? Because if I'm marrying somebody, they need to know how serious gaming is. They gotta understand to the extent of what games mean in my relationship with them. Like you gotta know somebody before you marry them. You really gotta know the ins and outs, or be willing to compromise and sacrifice once you get to know them after y'all married, because then it's a done deal. You can't stop playing, wifey. Oh boy. You don't know what you like till you try it. You thought FPS games were buns till you took a chance on OG Modern Warfare 2. Now I'm spending money on COD dang near every year. Yeah, I will say, you definitely like some games. You just gotta play it for yourself. Like D4. When I seen D4 and y'all was telling me about it, I was like, top down. I don't play top down games. Immediately, I'm like, but then I ended up going out on a limb and just buying it, and I ended up really enjoying it. So you are right. Some games you just gotta give a shot, take a chance on. But what I'm saying is, do not continue to do the same thing over and over and expecting something different. If a game dev or company is showing you that they can't be trusted, they keep on making trash games, then we need to If you delete my game and you know how much it meant to me, then you don't care about me. Can't just rip hobbies away like that. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like it's got to be some type of malicious intent behind that. Like, what are you doing that for?
I guess.
What class is this?
This is the warrior.
Okay.
This is your sort of like quintessential slamming guy.
Let's see. Can we do 4K for this one? Nah, this must not be from the devs. Oh, it's from Gamescom, so it's probably not that good quality.
Show you a few of the interactions between the different.
Do I dare say the other game? Is it similar to a
The other
Wii
game? Sneak this in D4.
Say the other game? Is it similar to a B word character?
D word. Oh,
I guess
B
so,
word
but,
character. The barbarian dead. Oops.
What's an area we haven't shown much? Maybe Journey's End. Here we go. Let's have a look at Journey's End. I'm not sure what's sort of appeared on streams and things like that, and what hasn't. So,
Oh no.
anyway, so
I could tell you right now, but the warrior is 10 times better than the barbarian. Every gameplay I've seen of the barbarian on D4 is just a tornado spinning simulator.
right. So, I guess one of the things we really want to make sure of with the warrior is that all of our melee skills kind of have a lot of mobility. So it's kind of like a basic attack. You've got like this kind of thing. Like in PoE 1, this would be like stand and do something. In PoE 2, it involves a lot of mobility. And the other thing, of course, is just like we were talking about on the druid, is all the combo type stuff. So on the warrior, one of the really nice combos to use is armor break. So what I can do here is when I hit monsters with armor break, it breaks their armor. But then that is used.
Smack them in the face.
Sorry, managed to run away from that guy. And so when you attack them when they've got their armor, obviously you're going to do a lot more damage. That's like really like the simplest level. And then the other thing that you can do is that some of the other skills that we have things that affect armor breaks. They often remove armor break and do something else. So this guy has armor broken right now, and then if I use leap slam, okay, somehow I managed to not trigger that. There's a very high chance to do a heavy stun. Apparently, though, that didn't seem to work for that guy, so I don't know what happened there. But yeah, there's a very high chance to heavy stun. There we go. And that means that you can follow up with something that's much more slow. So an example of that kind of thing is we have a thing called Supercharged Slam, which lets you gather a bunch of rocks on your weapon and slam them. So if you just use it like for a short amount of time, you get like 2 slams. But the longer you hold it down, the more rocks gather up until eventually you can do like a ridiculous number.
Whoa, that's cool.
So you want to be able to try and stun monsters, ideally, to be able to get that. So getting that, getting the leap slam, and then getting the supercharged slam is a good way to kill monsters. It probably wasn't worthwhile on these like random white monsters, but on a rare, it matters a lot.
So this class is more on the tanky side, I believe. Because so far, what I'm seeing, I mean, you just smacking people in the face. And then with that charge up heavy, you got to be able to take some type of damage without dying. Charging up that smash like that. And they have more accessible stuns. Stun until the heavy cast time. That's cool. See, I think that's the bread and butter of a game like this, is making every class seem somewhat appealable to everyone, even if they typically aren't something that you would play. Because I wouldn't play a warrior, but that's really cool. And if push came to shove, if I'm 2,000 hours in and I play every other class except the warrior, I might just go ahead and hop on that joint.
The other thing you can do is sunder. So if you sunder on an armor broken enemy, so I'll just talk about sunder when you normally use it. It basically is a very slow attack that does this like attacks on a line. And it's actually most useful when you have lots of monsters, because every time it hits a monster, it does a little ripple of damage. So if you use it on one monster, it's actually quite weak. But if you use it on a whole pack of monsters, then because the damage overlaps between each everything, I'll just gather a bunch here, it absolutely annihilates them. And so this is a useful interaction. But if you armor break one of the monsters, then Sunder does 500% damage to that monster. And also, it does 500% damage to all the monsters that get, like from the little wave from those monsters as well. So that means that Armor Break Sunder can be a really useful way to do that. Another one we have here is a Warcry skill. So I'm going to use Infernal Cry. So Infernal Cry puts this little thing on the monsters, and then when you kill them, it causes them to explode, dealing damage to nearby monsters. So it's another kind of good pack clearer.
I mean, this is in 1080p. Imagine 4K. I love the visual effects in this game. The fire and the lava. The lightning just looks so good.
But the other thing that it does is it gives you an exerted attack, which means that your next slam skill is going to do a lot of extra fire damage. So a good thing to do is to armor break the monster, get the leap slam on that monster to stun them, although apparently once again that monster seems to be broken in this regard, which is very interesting, so I'm just going to move on. Get the leap slam on the monster.
Oh, he almost died there.
Do the yell to get the exert, and then do the supercharged slam to get a lot of damage on them.
Yeah,
so that kind of combo is what you.
That's a
want to
risky.
use if you're fighting a boss.
High risk, high reward, right there. He just tanking.
To get a lot. Then do the yell to get the exert, and then do the supercharged slam to get a lot of damage on them. So that kind of combo is what you'd be wanting to use if you're fighting a boss, and it's something that can really. Can really help. Yeah, exactly. So you've got to, I guess a philosophy you would say in PoE too is that you really have to earn your single target damage. It's not just a question of like, here's a single target skill, just use it. You really have to like earn that single target by doing a combination of things. And if you do that, you'll be rewarded by getting a lot more damage. In a situation like that. So that's so some of the stuff you can do on the Marauder. Sorry, I should know, not Marauder. The Warrior. I've got two classes for each of the combinations, and hopefully.
Combinations. So this is who I'm going to play, y'all. The Huntress. This is me. The Huntress. The Sorceress. There will be 3 ascendancies for every class. Druid maybe will be Stormbringer, or Shapeshifter, or Jungle Boy. So you saying that Druid Shapeshifter is optional? But if you're not Shapeshifting, are you even Druid at that point?
On the Huntress is a skill called Whirling Slash.
This me.
So the design of this is basically, this is just a little town area, so I can just practice here without any monsters attacking me. But when you use this, it creates this little like whirling storm around you. And the more you use it, the larger the storm gets. And when you exit the storm, it explodes. So it's kind of like a really nice single target, sorry, not single target, it's a really nice area of effect thing that you can use to kill a whole bunch of monsters. So that's kind of like a non-obvious one as well. So like I can use Dodge Roll to get out of it, but there's actually more things you can use. For example, if I use this here, I've got a skill here which like makes your character run like maybe you didn't quite see that, like do like a slash back, and which also traps monsters. So you want to kind of like whirling slash, and then get out of there with that one. And then once you're out of there, then you can start throwing your spears from range. So another one that's really useful for the Huntress is the spear field. So when you use this, probably not that useful against zombies because they move so slowly anyway. But you create a field of spears, and they slow down monsters. So if you've got a lot of fast monsters around, then that's a really handy one. And then the other one that's kind of useful is Puncture. So Puncture can be useful for moving from one pack to the other. If I make this thing here, well, there's no other monsters nearby, so that's unfortunate. But effectively, it's a skill that lets you teleport towards monsters like this. And the further away you are when you use it, the more that you're going to bleed. The more that you're going to bleed them. So it
Wait,
can be
the
quite
further
handy
you
if
are
really,
from what?
Monsters, like this.
Oh, when you teleport.
But effectively, it's a skill that lets you teleport towards monsters like this. And the further away you are when you use it, the more that you're going to bleed. Yeah, see, I like bleed.
I really like Bleed. I feel like I haven't really gotten to experience or indulge in Bleed in any video game after the story when you can touch class specific skills and passives that nobody else can have. Oh, okay. There's a skill called Line of Fire for the Huntress where you throw your spear and it creates a line of fire. You don't say. And a wave behind it. That's what I'm like intrigued about. Is finding out what else the Huntress has to offer that they haven't really showcased. I feel like out of all the characters, some of them just didn't get as much spotlight. So it'll be interesting getting to see all of what she can do. And she's a girl character, so it fits. Because you don't get to change your gender as you are who you are. So a Huntress, if you play as Huntress, you're going to be a girl. But it fits, so that's what I'm going to go with. I didn't want to go with Necromancer again. I was Necromancer in D4. You got to choose one of 3 classes in your class and you'll be locked in. So it's like Last Epoch. That's what that sounds like. So it incentivizes more playtime as well. Playing the same character over and over but going different routes. So then it turns one linear character into 3 different type of characters. That's where Epoch got it from. Ah, noted.
The more that you're going to bleed them. So it can be quite handy to use depending on the situation. So maybe if I'll sort of do this. So I'm going to create a whirling slash here.
Then backflip, then dive in.
I can go back in with the puncture
Yeah.
bleed, and then follow up with my more single target rapid assault skill, which has a nice ending damage thing there. So this guy's moving pretty fast, so I'll use Spear Field to slow him down a little bit. And then I can pre-prepare my whirling slash before he arrives. And then maybe like get the Mac like this. Then go back into the puncture.
Like some forethought. You gotta have some forethought. That's what I love. And also, I really like that you can have more than just like 4 or 5 abilities. I don't know how many. Is it like 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I see 8 down there in the bottom right. The more, the merrier. So much more versatility. The Huntress had Bleed Master. Yeah, like I want to bleed. I want a lightning. I want a slow. Yeah, I like that though. More abilities, more fun, more possibilities, more variations, more creativity. Fire and oil. No, I don't need fire for the Huntress. She don't seem very fiery. But now if we talking about mercenary, that oil and that fire, or freeze, chef's kiss. Have ever played? No, I've never played that Linux. No, D4 was my first. I just don't feel like the Huntress will have a good. I could be proven wrong, but like I said, they haven't shown much gameplay. I feel like the Huntress doesn't have much fiery potential with like abilities. I mean, she do got like a spear, so I can't really imagine how much fire can come from that. Bleed mechanics are always cool. Yes, always.
So there's a lot of mobility to combat that you can achieve.
Yes,
if you kind of know what you're
mobility.
doing, which I honestly don't really that much compared to some people on the team.
Yeah.
So I haven't done too much practice on this class. But the skill ceiling for PoE2 can be quite a lot.
And also, if you squint real hard,
On this class.
And tilt your head and blink 3 or 4 times, it kind of looked like she got locks. Kinda.
But the skill ceiling for PoE2 can be quite a lot higher because of the fact that there's a lot more of the sort of action combat stuff that you can do. So we only put like a few skills in there, and this is also Act 2, so you don't have that many more skills compared to what you would have later on. But I guess that's it there, just sort of enough to show you, at least some of the basic stuff that you can do as a Huntress. We do have a lot of other like elemental spear attacks, like we've got a lot of different throws. But this class, what's kind of really
That lightning.
is sort of going into and out of combat a lot. Like you charge in, you jump out, like this kind of thing. And then you've got stuff that you can do from range. You've got stuff you can do from close. It's really
Yeah, I dig this. Like, I feel like characters that have really high death potential is like up my alley. Like I remember when I first started playing D4, people was like, "Oh, Necromancer is the hardest. Don't do Necromancer. You don't want to start with that." And I made Necromancer my guinea pig. You love hard characters to play and learn. Yeah, like he said, you gotta like be real aware of your positioning, getting in, getting out. Like a little bit of forethought. What am I finna do? What abilities am I gonna pop? Like how he said, the spear field is for like faster moving enemies because it slows them. Or like the zombies, they already move slow. So maybe I use this ability, charge this up while they walking, and then molly up.
Really about exploring that, that sort of, in and out kind of thing that it's got going on. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing that the Huntress is about.
Yes. And look, that's me. It's a me, a Mario. It's a me, a salsa. Did I try off the grid? No, I have not. I don't think I would like it. I've seen gameplay. Didn't seem like my... Didn't seem up my alley.
Bosses in Path of Exile 2 is the most satisfying part of the job. It is so enjoyable from start to end. Even after it's gone out, it's satisfying. I think if I could choose to do anything all the time, full time, that would be the single thing.
Wow,
Bosses
look
in
at
Path of
him.
Exile 2 come about two major ways. You obviously have the more traditional approach where you create a narrative and you design a boss around that narrative.
No noose this time. I'll remove your head myself!
The second way, which I think is something that can be very unique and create some of the more interesting encounters, is letting the creative genius of our artists do what they need to do. They can come up with something completely abstract, and this is how you get some of the most awesome things, because all of a sudden it can be something with 100.
Like, bro, I wish I could draw. Like, that is such a cool, like, creative, like, realm. That's not what I want to say. But you could just do so much creatively with art, being able to draw and just put on paper what is in your brain. Like, it just seems so cool. And then you can have jobs like this where you make bosses for video games. These enemies are next level. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You sold comic books you made to your schoolmates. Dead. You know what comic book I used to read as a kid? Captain Underpants. I like that one too. I don't know if that counts as a real comic book, but I like that. That and like I used to read the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, but those aren't comic books.
Tentacles, or 9 limbs, or no limbs, or 1,000 teeth, or none, and obviously things that aren't even in my imagination.
Wow.
Well, a boss in Path of Exile 2 ultimately is the culmination of decades of experience, making hundreds, if not thousands, of bosses in its predecessor, taking all that knowledge together, and puts it in a package that delivers the best of what could possibly be of boss encounters in an action RPG environment with bosses that are utilizing Souls-like mechanics. Despite the fact there's over 100 bosses and more to come, a lot more to come, every single boss fight is completely unique, hand animated from scratch.
Wow.
It is designed from scratch. It is
Wait, not the
completely unique, hand animated.
the plushies. Finding Nemo. I don't know what the heck that is. This must be from Path of Exile 1. Yes, to see your drawing illustrations come to life in a video game is so dope. I mean, imagine like something that came from you. Like it's like comparable to like having a child. Like you created that. You created that and now you're looking at it, seeing it flourish or fail. I don't know. Look at his board. Dodge roll. Spider. What? Can you walk without kneecaps? Can you walk without kneecaps? Yeah, but it wouldn't be a walk. It'll be like a limp, like a penguin. It'll be like this. It'll be a waddle. Dodge roll, but as a bear. Oh, you see that. Whoa, you zoomed in on that one, huh? Dodge roll, but as a bear. And a wolf? Question mark? Yeah, like how... Imagining what a wolf would look like dodging. Like... Yeah. Creative.
Made it from scratch. It is designed from scratch. It is balanced from scratch. And it doesn't reuse a single asset in our library or anything like that.
And there's no limit. There's no limit. You can just do whatever.
One of the main challenges balancing boss fights in Path of Exile 2, especially compared to its predecessor, you have to, in a single attempt, reduce the boss from full life to 0 in order to then progress through. If a player cannot defeat them now, then...
Oh, you talking about this dude chained up like this? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me, okay, forewarning, I am a huge Disney fan. I've seen like every Disney movie. This reminds me of Kung Fu Panda, the first one, when they introduce you to like, what's his name? Tao Lang. Well, I forget what his name is, but the snow leopard kung fu guy who's like locked up, chained, his hands bound, and just like deep down underground. This is what this reminds me of, like just a gangster locked up because if one hand free, he was wreck your life up, just wreak mayhem on the whole planet. That's what this reminds me of. Tai Lung, yes, thank you, Carrion. Tai Lung, yes. Tai Lung. Yes, this is what this reminds me of. And then as soon as you walk in, he just break free. And you're like, oh, great. Oh, great.
One of the main challenges balancing boss fights in Path of Exile 2, especially compared to its predecessor, you have to, in a single attempt, reduce the boss from full life to 0 in order to then progress through. If a player cannot defeat them now, then they're stuck. Which helps in many ways because it makes the bosses feel so much more satisfying to kill once you do overcome it and learn it.
Look at the little hand.
It is very, very important to us that Path of Exile bosses, mechanics, especially around
Like
telegraphy,
what?
feels fair to
A man with a crow head and crow legs
the user, as opposed
and like a bell. Just he chose a bell as his weapon. The crow bell. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, makes sense.
to them being cheated out of something when they happen to die. We want to make sure that hitboxes are accurate, and of course when something hits you, it feels like it hits you. It ultimately makes it feel that much more satisfying when you kill it and you feel that much more pride when you are able to overcome something difficult, knowing that the game hasn't robbed you of this thing. At the end of the day, you want to see that healthy balance where some people are struggling, and you want to see that moment, that second-hand moment where someone overcomes that challenge and is so happy for doing so.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to that.
Looks like an Elden Ring boss. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, being compared to an Elden Ring boss is like a huge compliment. Like that level of creativity and also a level of difficulty and evolution, right? Because you want the boss to change the lower his health gets, not just be two animations the whole fight. If you create a big boss that can't nobody beat, would I look like nerfing my own boss? That's the point. I created him to whoop y'all's Keister. Oh boy. Question is, can you kill your own boss? True, that's fair. If you make your boss hard, you got to be able to beat it before we put it in the game. Yup. And you can't put in no secret cheat or workaround that only you know to beat it. The seasonal system ruins PoE for you. Yeah, I mean, D4 has that system too, which it does suck. I don't love the fact that you got to start a new character over and over and over every season. I don't love it, but I don't know. I feel like games, once you get to a certain end game, if you were to just continue where you left off with the new season, you would probably be really bored. Only the strong survive. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. Because you know what else? The strong helps the weak. Yeah. Yeah, lend a hand. Why would the weak be fighting my in-game boss anyway? Well, if they at the end game, then one would argue that they're not very weak.
The gods caused all this, you know. After Oriath was destroyed, I traveled, searching for answers. Everywhere I went, the same divine devastation. It must end. I will end it. And no exile will stop me.
That's Zozo right there. That's me. That's me. That's Greg. That's that dude. He like, you really think I was letting these chains hold me willingly? I was waiting for you. Bro, this guy with the lip ring? The bottom lip? Oh my goodness. That's another character I would play. The monk. The monk. I would play the monk. Wow. Not gonna lie, that Templar looks good with that shield. Like, it just looks clean with the armor and the shield. Hordes. Hordes, baby. 6-person co-op. 6 people. That's a
This
raid
world
team.
will be reborn, no matter the cost.
We finna be raiding, y'all. We literally finna be raiding. Big raids. They're free 99, making you a little hype. Yes, that's the thing, is it's free. Like, it's crazy. You know, with the way that these characters and bosses and enemies look, they're gonna have some fire cosmetics that make you spend money or want to spend money.